All about those special days, those career days you might call them, when you whip the entire field and bring in the biggest stringer of fish. That's what the Busch Shootout is all about, and the 13 qualifiers brought in the best 5 fish limits of the year, including Greg Hackney at the Open Championship, Jimmy Mize from the Citgo Bassmaster Classic, Guy Aker from Clark's Hill Reservoir, Scott Rook from the Harris Chain in Florida. Edwin Evers got his qualification on Lake Guntersville in Alabama. Brent Chapman from Table Rock Lake. Kevin Van Dam from Lake Louisville on the Elite 50 Series. Frank Ippoliti from Clark's Hill. Jim Bitter qualified at the Harris Chain in Florida. Zell Rowland won Guntersville and made his way to the shootout. Ed Cowan was the Federation champion, and Morizo Shimizu, 30 pounds plus, to make it to the Busch Shootout.
The Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail Busch Shootout.
Well, it is the Busch Shootout, and just like with last year's Busch Shootout, all our qualifiers really don't know where they're going the morning they leave their homes. They know to report to their own airports, and by the time they get there, they see the ticket. And in this case, they see that they are all headed for Springfield, Missouri. And that's where we pick them up right here at the Springfield Airport. They all grab their identically sized tackle bags as per the Busch Shootout rules. We get them all grabbed together, and we put them on the big bus/limo. Take them through downtown Springfield to a place that is very, very familiar to any outdoors fan who's been to Springfield, and that is Bass Pro Shops. It is the Busch Shootout. Welcome. Glad you're with us today. I'm Tommy Sanders. We're very happy to have our special guest today, the man who runs the Busch boat on the Citgo Bassmaster Tour, the winningest of all time on the Citgo Bassmaster Tour, and above all, a guy who knows these Missouri lakes, Denny Brow. Great to have you with us today.
Appreciate it, Tommy.
And another guy who knows a thing or two about Missouri fishing is Jerry McKenna's always with us.
I tell you what, the fish will bite every day on the waters where we're going. Finding them in September might be a chore, though. But Denny, Tommy, that's what the big boys do, is find fish. I bet we catch one today.
These are the top guys in the business, and we're going to throw a lot of changes at them, just like we did last year, Denny.
Busch likes to do things a little different when it comes to tournaments, and all 13 anglers will fish the first day, but the second day, there's going to be a few wrinkles thrown in, and all of this is going to take place on Table Rock Lake.
Table Rock Lake. All right, we're going to let the cat out of the bag. Take a look at it, Table Rock Lake. A lot of places to fish. Your initial reaction to this being the spot for the shootout?
September's tough, as Jerry alluded to, and Table Rock's no different. Suspended fish, few shallow fish. They've had some rain. Going to be interesting.
All right, we're back to our guys now. They now know they're fishing on Table Rock Lake, so the Busch folks give them a $300 shopping spree inside Bass Pro Shops.
Hey, don't interfere with my shopping now. I'm in a hurry.
I got it under control, man. I'm telling you. Thought we might need for Table Rock. It was a pretty cool deal.
While we were shopping in Bass Pro Shop, that was a pretty neat deal for Bass Pro and Busch to give us a $300 spending spree. You ever tried taking your wife shopping knowing that you got $300 in your pocket? She wanted me to buy her some shoes.
Where's the Woo video? Just kidding. Where'd the jerk baits go? You got any of that Kevin, what's that guy's name? Van?
The guy from Kalamazoo.
Yam? Kevin Van Yam videos?
Yeah.
You got probably about the best of the best that's here. There's not one of these guys that doesn't know what he's doing or how to catch one.
You might even learn something if you got one of those.
You might learn something if you got one.
We need to get him a couple Van Dam videos.
They got plenty in stock.
Had about done it, buddy. Had about done it.
Well, Denny, this was supposed to be the last chance for these guys. If they left home without the right tackle for Table Rock, you think some of them actually took advantage of it?
I do. That was super nice of Anheuser-Busch to give them $300 to go tweak their tackle, so to speak. But Jim Bitters, he buys 2 reels. Ed Cowan, he buys T-shirts. You know, some of these guys, I think, felt they were well prepared. Others bought some baits that will probably play a big part in the outcome.
Yeah, they should have already had reels when they got there, right?
They really should have.
All right. Jerry, tell us about the lake, for goodness sake.
Yeah, Tommy was buying camo house shoes. I saw that. I was embarrassed. Hey, Table Rock is probably an hour from Springfield, Missouri. Sits right on the Missouri-Arkansas boundary. And I think about clear water whenever you say Table Rock Lake. A lot of these guys are going to target spotted bass. It's got some dandy spots in it. And there'll be possibly 50, 60 foot of water. There'll probably be a crankbait bite as well. Maybe even a little topwater action up the creeks. But They don't have much time, no practice. They have to figure it out in a hurry.
This is an event they've all been pointing to all season long. It's full of perks for them and their families, and plus $100,000 to the winner. We'll have the takeoff when we come back.
What's mine is yours.
The Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail Busch Shootout is brought to you by Busch, Lawrence, Purelator, and Triton Boats.
All right, we are back, and you are watching the Busch Shootout. The Busch Shootout, the special year-end event featuring the top stringer producers during the course of the season on the Citgo Bassmaster Tour, the Open Championship, the Federation Championship, and the Citgo Bassmaster Classic. These are the guys who had the big days, who started their day today not knowing exactly where they were going to come and fish, got on the plane, and somehow they all arrived in Springfield, Missouri. So they know that much about their fishing destination for this tournament at this point. Now take a look at these identical tackle bags here. That's how much tackle they could bring to this event. And of course, if they didn't have enough to be ready for fishing on Lake Table Rock, Denny Brower, they let them have one more shot at some tackle there at Bass Pro Shop.
And for some of these guys, Tommy, that's going to be very, very important. Now that they know they're going to clear water, they're going to pick out certain baits that'll probably allow them to catch a few more fish, kind of tweak out their tackle bags, make them a little bit more efficient when they actually do get on the water.
All right, take off on day number one. All 13 anglers having a crack at it today. Looking at Brent Chapman right there. Got 13 guys looking to make the top 5 on this first day.
You know, it's not that often somebody's going to come out here and win one of these events. When you got that opportunity to win one and you do it, it's really something special.
Let's talk about Table Rock this time of year. Denny, we got cool temperatures in the morning right now, maybe 55 degrees.
Table Rock can be a very, very tough lake, Tommy, in September. One of the reasons you got the clear water, a lot of fish are suspended. These guys are going to use techniques like drop shotting. Right there, Zell is jigging his spoon. Another fabulous technique for those deeper fish. But they also had 5 inches of rain right before the event. So there are dirty water in certain places, and the guys that can find that in a short period of time will catch them shallow.
Zell's going to put the measurement on this one right here. Take out the little sticker. It's got to be 15 inches, no matter what species of black bass it is, and that one did not make it. But boy, you talk about some fish that did make it. Zell Rowland qualifying on Lake Guntersville for this event. He won that tournament as well.
Going.
Hold it up, Zell. My, oh my, Alabama, hook it up for Zell Rowland.
22 pounds and 6 ounces on that big day for Zell Rowland on Lake Guntersville, but overshadowed by the day produced by this man, Morzo Shimizu, over 30 pounds of bass on the final day.
Unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. 5 Guntersville Toads.
All right, fishing that grass, those sunken islands on Guntersville. There's nothing like that out here on Table Rock, is there, Denny?
No, there's no vegetation at all. A lot of bare banks, the lake's low. You can see right here, he's using a little light jig head, fishing probably right where it breaks off into deep water. That deep water, it's tough to find those fish. Takes a lot of time. Without practice, it's going to take these guys probably more time than they want.
Shimizu came into this tournament limping. He twisted his ankle bank fishing back home in Japan. That's pretty hardcore if you injure yourself bank fishing.
Well, his boat's over here, so he's got to walk the bank when he goes back over there.
I guess that's right. That's a good point right there. That one probably not going to keep for Shimizu either. And Scott Rook. Scott Rook is a guy who's been flying under the radar for a number of years. A good, solid fisherman, right?
Scott's a great fisherman. Does a lot of crankbaiting. That's what he's doing right now.
We got overcast conditions out here. The wind's blowing pretty good. We just had a low pressure system go through. The weather's cooled off. You know, normally this time of year you catch these fish suspended in these trees. I've hit a lot of points and a lot of bluff ends trying to find them, and they just don't seem to be there. I don't know if they're not up suspended.
Scott Rook obviously is not going to come to the weigh-in stand empty-handed. Got some keepers in the boat for Rook on this day one of fishing. Take a look at this bridge here. This is Kimberling City, Missouri, the Highway 13 bridge, about 55 plus feet of depth there. That's where we find Zell Rowland
Bill's using that jigging spoon, Tommy, just like he was around them boat docks. And he's probably down in 50, 55 foot of water, but he's imitating shad. And a lot of these fish stage around them pilings.
What's he do? He's just up and down with that thing? Is that the way it works with one of those spoons?
Absolutely. A lot of times as it's falling back down, you'll see your line just twitch a little bit as they grab it.
Well, Bridges have played a big part in some crucial tournaments over the past couple of years on the Citgo Bassmaster Tour and the Classics.
Without a doubt, more and more people are figuring out that bridges are good places to catch bass and catch lots of bass.
Another one of 14 3/4 suckers.
Again, they're looking for 15-inch fish here. That's what it's got to be. That's the tournament limit now for recreational fishing. Otherwise, it's a bit shorter than that. That's kind of an unusual situation.
Well, the state limit is 12 inches on spotted bass. They're very prolific, and they've just as soon some anglers take them out and eat them just like they would crappie to keep the population down.
All right, Kevin Van Dam, you talk about a guy with some momentum. The last two Elite 50 events of 2005 won by Kevin Van Dam. Kevin Van Dam goes to Pittsburgh and wins himself his second Classic. So he's got to be the man to look out for in this tournament.
2 bags ain't what you want to see. Check this out. Hello, there. There's a Louisville largemouth right there. Oh, my goodness.
So Kevin Van Dam we find in the James River, and this is that stained water you talked about a little bit earlier. Denny, I guess in the absence of practice, this is one of those good things you can look for when you go out there and get started.
Well, they had rain. They know there's going to be dirty water, and Kevin ran to it. This is what I would do if I was in the tournament. With a limited amount of time, you can find shallow water fish faster than you can find deep water fish. And in the fall, those fish love to get around isolated wood, and that's what Kevin's doing right now.
Kevin Van Dam with a keeper in the boat, so he will come to the weigh-in stand with a shot at making the top 5.
What do you think, Jay? What's mine is yours.
Gotta start someplace.
And that's the wrap-up of fishing day 1 of the Busch Shootout on Table Rock Lake. As we said earlier, 5 guys are going to make it through today at this weigh-in. They'll be exempt all the way through day number 2. 5 guys definitely with a shot at the championship, but the other 8 will not be out of it yet. A strange twist in the competition. We will explore that when we come back.
Look at that.
Give it up one more time, Jim. Get your home tag.
Watching a special tournament, the Busch Shootout. The top stringers from the year, the top limits caught by these great anglers like Greg Hackney at the Open Championship, Jim Bitter on the Harris chain of lakes, and from Clarks Hill Reservoir, those 2 guys, Guy Aker and Frank Ippoliti. We're here on Table Rock Lake near Springfield, Missouri for this big shootout competition, fishing out of Big Cedar Lodge. The day 1 competition was really something else. A lot of people had low expectations for Table Rock. This time of year, they say it gets too tough to catch many fish. Well, those expectations were pretty much blown away on day number 1. Take a look at this, Jimmy Mize. Check out this limit of fish, 13 pounds and 15 ounces. Mize with the lead after that first day. So Mize leads those 5 qualifiers who will be exempt all the way into day 2 through the end of the day. They include Brent Chapman, Gerald Swindle, Kevin Van Dam, he's always in there. Zell Rowland, who qualified on Lake Guntersville. Man, it's going to be some exciting stuff. So we have those 5 guys qualified, Denny, and we got 8 other guys. We had 13 competitors in all when we started. 8 guys now who still got a shot at it, right?
Yeah, and those guys are nervous. They know they got to go out there and catch fish, but they're even with everybody else. They can still win this tournament, and that doesn't happen very often. But come 11 o'clock, the guy with the heaviest weight, he goes on. The other 7, they're done. 8
guys fishing for 1 spot. A lot of scenarios could happen out there.
There really are, but what's going to be neat, 5 o'clock, we're going to have a winner.
There they are, the 8 anglers competing for that final spot. There are their scores from day 1, but the scores really don't matter at this point. All 8 are shooting for 1 spot in the final round, which will come in the afternoon of day number 2. We start from 0 on day number 2. Kind of foggy, about 55 degrees. Edwin Evers, one of those guys. Edwin Evers, who won his tournament this year on Lake Norman in North Carolina, but qualified for the Busch Shootout with a gigantic day on Lake Guntersville in Alabama. 27 pounds and 15 ounces, one of 4 participants in the Busch Shootout to qualify from Guntersville. Here's Jimmy Mize.
It's going to be exciting just to get to fish this last day. You know you're going to get to fish all day, though.
Jimmy Mize has a love-hate relationship, he says, with Lake Table Rock. He says he does great in practice here. And when the bell goes off, when you get into tournament time, he always sort of bombs.
Well, he did great the first day. He caught that big stringer of fish to lead the tournament, but it was cloudy. He's catching them on a topwater bait. The day's bright and sunny. He's had to change tactic. Gone to light line, gone a little bit deeper.
All right, well, maybe he's cursed once again on Lake Table Rock. We'll see if he can overcome it. Jimmy Mize, of course, had a great year in 2005. We'll flash you back to Clark's Hill Reservoir. There on the border between Georgia and South Carolina. A terrific final day for Jimmy Mize there. In fact, he wound up only being beaten by ounces by Mike Reynolds' chance at winning his first tour event there. Jimmy Mize, of course, qualified at the Citgo Bassmaster Classic with 6 pounds and 2 ounces in Pittsburgh.
All right, that's a good 4.5 pound fish.
Now let's take a look at Brent Chapman running up the James River. And Jerry, tell us about this spot he's going to.
Well, you know, you might be wondering why these guys would even want to run to this off-color water. And first of all, it is not muddy water. It's just not as clear as it is down towards the dam. And you're just more productive with a crankbait or a topwater bait in this color of water. Your choice of location better be right now, because it's going to take you an hour to get there, and it's going to take you an hour to get home. You had better be right.
You probably have 2.5 hours of fishing, it's looking like. All right, time to get started.
Brent Chapman could somehow make it happen here. He could say he won his Busch Shootout all on Table Rock, because this, in fact, is where he qualified. 22 pounds last spring.
There's a fish. Almost as good as the first cast. It's a good one, too. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
All right, Brent Chapman is on the board now with 2 pounds and 8 ounces. Brent Chapman, one of those guys who finished in the top 5 after day 1. He's going to fish all the way through the afternoon session. There are 8 other anglers out there, all shooting for one more spot available to join that top 5 in this afternoon session. Table Rock's a big lake, so what's the deal? How come 2 boats wind up in exactly the same spot?
That's wrong right there. I'm the only guy here. What's up with that? Let me pull down there and get this over with right now.
Denny, we may need you to separate these guys. We'll see how this plays out when we come back. Coverage of the Busch Shootout continues from Table Rock Lake near Springfield, Missouri. The Busch Shootout, the top 10 single-day limits from the Citgo Bassmaster Tour, also the Bass Open Championship, the Federation Championship, and the Citgo Bassmaster Classic. 5 anglers have qualified to fish this final day all day long. The other 8 are shooting for one more spot to join those 5 in the afternoon session. Now, when we left you, well, we had a couple of guys, well, Zell Rowland right there, and Gerald Swindle, we both saw him catching good fish on bridge pilings there in Kimberling City, Missouri on day number 1. Zell Rowland is headed for that bridge as well, and now comes Gerald Swindle, and now comes the confrontation.
That's wrong right there. I'm the only guy here. What's up with that? The only stinking guy here yesterday, and they're gonna come here and start fishing today. Broke my line on a freaking big one. Let me pull down there and get this over with right now. It didn't take long. Are you fishing here? All day, Zell. I was the only boat here till you see me go down there for a check-in. I caught 2 out here yesterday afternoon. I stayed here to the last hour, dude.
Zell Rowland's going to be a good guy. He's going to pick up and leave right here, although in his defense, we did see him catch some fish here yesterday. Gerald did not see him. Both guys think they're pretty right on this issue.
He could have been fishing there yesterday morning, and we didn't know he was fishing there, so I'll let him have it until late this afternoon. All we can do is give him the benefit of the doubt.
Legally, according to tournament rules, both guys could be fishing that bridge, but anglers don't like to share water. Once in a while, these deals come up. Zell made a move, probably better off. It'll probably enable him to catch more fish.
That's a big school of them right there. Oh, God! Wasn't ready for that little bite.
Zell Rowland may, in fact, have found something else to replace his bridge pattern right there. Zell Rowland, we understand, you can't really see it here, but he's keying actually on the cables. Guy wires that are holding that little piece of dock in place. But back to the incident at the bridge, Denny. Was it that Gerald Swindle felt he should have the whole bridge to himself come what may? Or was he more upset about the fact that he thought Zell had seen him catch fish there yesterday, was kind of horning in on his pattern, his technique, and sort of, you know, impinging on him a little bit that way.
Well, the bottom line, Tommy, neither angler saw the other angler. They both fished the bridge. They both had the right to come back and fish it again on the final day. You're starting over. There's no pure leader. They both have a chance to win. Why not both fish?
And it is a big fun event, but there's also $100,000 on the line. Expect these guys to press just about each and every issue. Again, they both think they're right. Unless you think Gerald Swindle's not one of the great guys in this business, you should have seen him a couple of weeks ago down there in South Mississippi helping those flood victims down there, the victims of Hurricane Katrina, put together a ton, maybe over $100,000 worth of donations in money and in supplies, led a group of anglers down there. Gerald Swindle, who qualified for this Busch Shootout, one of the 4 qualifiers from Lake Guntersville. This is day 3 of that competition from Guntersville. Gerald Swindle fishing that chunk rock right there along the highway there in the middle of downtown Guntersville. Really got it going.
You cannot fool me again. More biggins, you be shaking at your lines tight like that. Feels like somebody cut it with a pair of scissors. It just goes limp. Feels like a better one right there. I can't tell. He had a hard pull. He's loosening up now. Could be a keeper right there, boys. Yeah, it's a keeper. Oh my gosh. Didn't mean to do that. Yes, 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 yes. Be gentle with him. You don't want to be rough with your big bass. All right, kids. If you're sitting at home and you see some goofy people kissing fish on TV, stupid. Don't ever, ever, ever kiss a bass on the lips. They've been sleeping with others.
Well, another guy who's had the opportunity to kiss some fish, of course, Brent Chapman put that good keeper in the boat first thing in the morning on this final day. He's up there in the James River in that somewhat stained water, as Denny pointed out. The guy lurking not far away from him, Kevin Van Dam.
Great area. James River's got good history behind it, has quality fish, but the dirty water is really what made both guys go there.
Come on, big fish. Fish. Maybe you just gotta ask for him. Oh. Whoa, yeah. Bigger than I thought he was. Not a good idea to swing them when they got one little hook holding them on. Oh, man. Just gonna start having to ask a little bit more.
Yeah. Brent Chapman is doing well on this morning, but remember, there are 8 other anglers out there shooting for that one final spot to join the top 5 for the afternoon session of fishing. But hey, whoever it is, he's gonna have to watch out for this guy because Brent Chapman has been putting on a show this morning, and he's got more of the show yet to come. We'll be right back to Lake Table Rock.
The Citgo Bass Insider.
There it is, baby.
The Busch Shootout is a culmination of the anglers who, during the course of the season, weighed in the heaviest one-day weights of a particular tournament. If Kevin Van Dam were to win, though, it might be the exclamation point for a record-setting year in winning money.
That's how you do it right there.
Prior to the 2005 Citgo Bassmaster Tour season, Denny Brower held the record for most money won in a single season with $350,000. When Van Dam won the Bassmaster Classic on the Ohio River, he set a new record with $465,700. And a win here with the $100,000 payday would put him comfortably over the $500,000 mark.
The Bass Insider has been brought to you by Citgo.
At the end of our Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail is a special event. This is it, the Busch Shootout. We continue our coverage from Lake Table Rock on the White River near Branson, Missouri. We got the top competitors as far as single-day stringers from throughout the 2005 season, from the Open Division, from the Tour, from the Citgo Bassmaster Classic and the Federation Championship. Let's go out to the bridge and Gerald Swindle.
Hardest thing for me is I got to keep concentrating and keep my line tight, and it's so hard to fish suspended out there like that. I mean, it works on me, and I figured it out, and it's still working on me. Because that fish was probably about 40 to 45 foot deep and wasn't around jack, dude, just sitting right out here in the middle of nowhere. And you're just shaking along, it just starts getting a little bit mushy, kind of like you got a little piece of leaf or something on there. That feels big too, boys, but who knows? That feels real big. I didn't want to sure if I got a good hook set on, that's why I ran to the back. I believe that's a keeper right there if I can get him up. You drag good and loose because he's gonna surge. That's typical spotted bass stuff. They're gonna surge on you. Oh, he's coming up now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, come here, come here. Oh, I got him. It wasn't graceful, but I got him. I got him. Hold me, hold me, hold me. Do me a favor, hand me that and you hold this for a second. Let me get a little shot of you with a bass, because you've never caught one. That's a keeper, boys. Whew. I'm telling you, folks, people think, you know, they want to do exciting things. You want to bungee jump, you want to do some crazy stuff in life. You ain't got to do that. You want an adrenaline rush? Come in here and catch you a table rock spotted bass in the Busch Shootout for 100 grand. That's right, 100 grand. This mean dude tied on the end of a spinning rod with 6-pound test line. That's what fires a brother up. It ain't jumping off no cliff with no rubber band on my leg. Yes.
One more good one, and that really have us right where we need to be.
Brent Chapman just about out of time in this morning session. Going to have to make that run back very soon to end this first part of the fishing day.
There he is. It's a good one, too. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, yeah! Look at that! Yes! Told you there'd be one on this bank. Man! I think I might know where we might be coming back to. Definitely in position to win this thing now. We just need 2 keeper fish. See, and this is just perfect conditions for this muddy water. Got these bluebird skies. These fish tend to be a little more aggressive than the clear water fish. One more, come on. We got a couple minutes left here. We ready? There's a fish. There he is. Yes! Unbelievable. How about that for last-minute heroics? We got a cruise. Man! Oh, let's go.
Good work by Brent Chapman. That is his 4th fish of the morning, 11 pounds. Could be the lead, but right now he's got to strap in, go on back to the weigh-in place. We're going to have a weigh-in among the other 8 anglers who are shooting for that final spot in this afternoon's round of fishing.
Man, if you ever have an intuition, you better follow it. Go for it, man.
Brent Chapman's intuition was to go up the James River. Find that dirtier water and catch some largemouth bass in the shallower conditions up there. He's got a 1-hour ride back to check-in time. Now we go back over to Gerald Swindle, who couldn't be doing anything more different. He's fishing 40, 50 feet deep. Drop shot rig for these spotted bass. He certainly caught a good load of them yesterday. He's on to another one right now.
Little. He won't make it, but I ain't gonna break my line when I throw him in the boat. I just figured something out, 14 1/4. I let that joker all the way down to 55 foot deep. and let it hit the bottom, started reeling it in, and I just reel it up a little bit at a time, shaking it, and I didn't reel the handle 7 times, and he had it. It's got to put him at about 48 foot, 46 foot.
Tommy was right. The techniques of Brent Chapman and Gerald Swindles are so far apart. Brent in shallow, murkier water, Swindle in very deep, clear water. And he's throwing a drop shot in around these bridge piers. Now, a drop shot is the technique of putting your weight, in this case about 1/4 of an ounce drop shot weight, on the very end of your line, coming back up the line maybe 20, 24 inches, finesse hook, and a little bitty tiny finesse worm. That is a drop shot rig. Now he's dropping it beside the pier, letting it go all the way to the bottom, probably in 55, 60 feet of water, and then bringing it up until he finds the level that these fish are in. Remember, the worm, the very small worm, is above the drop shot weight.
You won't listen to me. I'm just hunting the bottom. There it is. I have found the bottom. He got it. I believe I got a big one, boys. My God, what a spot. Come on. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Do you want it? Woo! They're like 50 foot deep, dude. Oh! Woo! Somebody gonna have to hold me. I ain't got to measure that. What am I thinking about? That's what I'm talking about. The Busch Shootout, Table Rock. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I ain't got to get up like Davey and make a fool of myself trying to do the running man. It's all up in the shoulder. Whoo, they done told on themselves, because I done figured something out. Just got to get to the bottom, reel it up 3 or 4 times.
Well, we have gotten to 11 o'clock. That's going to be the moment of truth for some people, not the top 5. They don't even have to weigh in their fish, but those other 8 anglers shooting for that final spot in this afternoon's round. Well, they've got to get it done right now. Scott Rook, 2 fish, 3 pounds and 10 ounces. For Edwin Evers, just a pound 15. He won't make the finals. How about Jim Bitter, qualified down on the Harris chain in Florida, and Jim Bitter comes in empty-handed. He's going to move along.
Let's move on down the line to the Hack Attack, Greg Hackney.
Greg Hackney, who won the last tour event this season, 2005, here on Table Rock. No such luck today.
Well, 5 minutes late today. That penalty doesn't hurt much because 5 pounds off of nothing is nothing.
Exactly.
We got a lot of ties for the goose egg right here.
0 fish for Hackney. Frank Ippoliti would also come in empty-handed.
It's not been a bad day. We caught a lot of fish, but with the short time period, ended up putting a lot of us on top of one another. But that's the name of the game, is just go fishing and have a good time, and hopefully it comes together.
3 anglers left to go. Morizo Shimizu, 3 pounds, 9 ounces, just misses it by a whisker, but still happy with his efforts.
I did my best last night. I drank Busch beer and I caught more fish today.
Here comes Guy Aker.
Guy Aker, who qualified on Clark's Hill Reservoir. Guy Aker comes in with 4 pounds and 5 ounces. He's got the spot sewed up, but 1 more angler is left away.
Ed Cowan, get it, 9 pounds, 7 ounces, and Ed Cowan moves to the top of the leaderboard to join the Super 6.
So Ed Cowan, the Federation champion for 2005, takes the final slot in the finals, and as a matter of fact, takes over 3rd place. So we're ready for that final session, the afternoon fishing, to determine the Busch Shootout champion. Will it be the Federation champion, Cowan, slipping in from the field of 8? Or will it be Brent Chapman, who opened up the big lead this morning? Gerald Swindle working that bridge so hard. We'll find out when we get back. Back at you from Table Rock Lake in Missouri. Our coverage of the Busch Shootout for 2005 continues. The afternoon fishing session is now underway. We got 6 finalists shooting for that $100,000 first prize. The top qualifiers through big single-day stringers throughout the 2005 season. So the best of the best are looking for some good stuff to happen. Meanwhile, the other qualifiers who didn't make the final session and the wives get to spend the afternoon in style.
Oh, I had a facial, 2-hour massage, and a body wrap. We absolutely love coming to the Busch Shootout. Did it again last year, and it was great. Can't wait to do it again.
This is probably the most fun I've ever had at a tournament, mainly because I guess Schultz and Cochran aren't here.
That'll make the show.
Jim Bitter providing the entertainment on the cruise for the afternoon. He comes with some good material there. There's your leaderboard now. We're getting down to it, folks. This is the final period of fishing. Brent Chapman, Gerald Swindle locked in a tie at 11 apiece. Brent Chapman, of course, with that great action in the morning. 4 good fish. Gerald Swindle not doing too bad himself, working a bridge down there in Kimberling City, Missouri, catching them deep. Big spotted bass. He's got 4 good ones as well. That last one was exceptionally fat. How about Ed Cowan, the Federation champion, Denny? He did great in the Federation Championship, didn't live up to his expectations at the Classic, but he may be for real in this event.
Well, he really may, Tommy, and one thing he's got going for him, he's fishing close to takeoff, so he can utilize his time better than what the other 2 guys, especially Brent.
All right, Ed Cowan very much in the thick of things, needs a couple of good fish, and he could win it all.
Big name guys like KVD and G-Man and all them, they got pretty good poker face, and they talk a good game, but I put a scare in them this morning. They know they're not invincible. It's like, to me, fishing's like just more of an art than a science. I mean, these guys all try to make like it's a big science, but to me, it's an art. And you start getting a lot of information. It takes something away from it, from my perspective, you know. I'm not trying to make a living at it, so I can afford to take my chances too, you know.
Ed Cowan not lacking confidence and not far from the takeoff, so he can fish till the very last minute right there in Long Creek around the corner.
This reminds me of what Brent Chapman's doing. He's crankbaiting rocky banks, a little bit of stained water. Like you say, he's going to be able to utilize his time, get in a few more casts than what Chapman's going to be able to.
Certainly is one of our big stories today. Is it going to be one in shallow water like this with Chapman and Cowan? Boy, there's a good one for Cowan. He takes over the lead. Or will it be the guy who's fishing out there, the deep, deep water in the bridges? That would be Gerald Swindle. But right now, it's looking good for the 2005 Federation champion. Won it all down at Lake Toho and on the Walt Disney properties. But, Jerry, what's going on with Kevin Van Dam?
Boy, Ed Cowan, though, I'm so impressed. He was talking pretty big a minute ago. He's backing it up, though. How many times at this point in the game do you see KVD with a goose egg? Not very often. And Chapman may be going back to the James River, but Kevin headed south into Arkansas and into Cricket Creek. He's going to test the clear water in this last session.
About run out of territory up here is my problem. Guess I should have probably maybe went back all the way up. Where was that?
Well, any guy who ought to trust his own decision-making ability is this man right here, Kevin Van Dam. Think of his 2005 season, how he wrapped that up. Elite 50 win, followed by back-to-back Elite 50 wins. And then he goes to the Citgo Bassmaster Classic in Pittsburgh, whips the field down there under tough conditions. That's 3 wins in a row for Kevin Van Dam. But again, that doesn't mean that you and I can't second guess him. What do you think about this decision right here today, Denny?
Well, he was kind of forced into that decision. He did not catch any fish in the morning. He knows he's going to have to catch a bunch of them this afternoon. If he runs back up to where he was, he's not going to have much time to fish. But if he can figure something out close, he might be able to catch that limit, and who knows, win the thing.
Jimmy Mize still working that top water here in the middle part of the day. Is he kind of beating a dead horse at this point?
Well, I think he is, but he's losing time, and he knows maybe he can get a big fish to bite that topwater bait.
Certainly got it to bite on day one. He caught the most fish of anyone on day one, but this is a totally different set of conditions today, right?
Yeah, that clear sky makes it tough. He's forcing it, but you never know when a big fish will hit and you get back in the ball game.
May or may not be a keeper. That one's going to be close for Jimmy Mize. He's got a long way to go to climb into the lead here. He is going to have a miracle session in the last hour or so of fishing here on Table Rock Lake. We got our final minutes of fishing coming up, and then we're going to head to the weigh-in for what looks like it's going to be a pretty dramatic, pretty close deal at the very end of this. $100,000 on the line, and who's it going to be? Your Busch Shootout champion when we return.
There he is. That might be the one right there.
The Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail Busch Shootout is brought to you by Citgo, Mercury Marine, Motor Guide, and Cialis.
Branson, Missouri, Table Rock Lake in the 2005 Busch Shootout. Boy, we are in the final moments of fishing here. 6 contestants still in it for this afternoon session, led by Ed Cowan, Gerald Swindle, and Brent Chapman not far behind. Brent Chapman, who had a sensational morning today up the James River.
Right now, you know, it's such a hard decision of what to do for the second half of the day, but at the same time, if I can go up there and have 2 more hours this afternoon, you know, all I got to catch is 1 more decent fish, and I really think we probably can in that good area that we wrapped up the day in. We only spent 10 minutes in there. We didn't even get to fish all of it. Maybe the big ones have moved onto this bank now. There he is. No, he came off. No, 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 no. Oh. How did that happen?
Chapman with the miss leaves the door open for Gerald Swindle, his last chance maybe to catch Chapman and Cowan.
That's a mean looking tree right there. Do not be scared to throw your 6-pound test line into the tree. I gotta get him out of the trees, brother. That's a big, broke my line. Fucking giant too, man. God almighty, why can't I win one of these damn tournaments, dude? It's a freaking giant, man. God. I'm sick of trying, man. All I do is freaking get close and freaking lose every time. It's a freaking giant, man.
What a disappointment for Gerald Swindle. He may well be done on this day. Again, the door swings open for Ed Cowan and this man right here, Brent Chapman. If he could put 1 more good keeper in the boat, upgrade his limit, complete that 5-fish limit, he could be the man here on Table Rock.
There he is. There he is. Stay on there. Yeah! That might be the one right there. I gotta quit swinging them in when they're only hooked 1 time. Yes. Yes, number 5. Best looking tree on here.
A timely fish for Brent Chapman. Will it be enough? He's got his 5-fish limit. Can he capture the Busch Shootout Championship? All the anglers finished in different parts of the lake, so no one's got a clue as the weigh-in gets underway at Big Cedar Lodge. First to the stand is Ed Cowan.
The number says 11-11. That's 1s across the board. You're in first place right now.
Cowan with the lead. The next to weigh in is Zell Rowland, who falls short with 3 pounds, 13 ounces. Kevin Van Dam, and for him, a very slow day, only 3 pounds, 8 ounces. And Gerald Swindle, who had the winning fish on, has 4 bass, 10 pounds, 13 ounces. Federation champ Ed Cowan still hanging in there with 11-11. And now it's time for Brent Chapman, still looking for his first supersized Bassmaster payday.
12 pounds even makes you $100,000 richer. 14 pounds, 7 ounces, and Brent Chapman moves to the top of the food chain, living and dying by the long run, and it pays off for Brent Chapman.
Chapman takes the hot seat with 1 more angler to go. Jimmy Mize, though, couldn't repeat his day 1.
He's got 1 pound, 10 ounces, Brent Chapman, Busch Shootout champion.
The 14-3 was plenty, and Chapman is the champ.
It feels awesome because I've been out here for 8 years and I've never had a major win. I had one last month and I've had one this month. And I think I've learned something over these last 2 tournaments that, you know, I've got to push myself a little bit harder or gamble a little bit more and go for those wins instead of just the high finishes.
Brent Chapman, 2005 Busch Shootout champion.
How about that? Brent Chapman, been laboring out there for more than a decade, looking for one of those big money wins. He gets it at the Busch Shootout.
Well, Brent's a great angler. His efficiency's what won it for him. Swindle, Cowan, each lost a fish, and that kept them from winning.
Hey, I love this format. I thought that all the changes and all the wrinkles were great. It occurs to me that every time a change was made, Chapman went right back doing exactly what got him there. So he did a good job. And as far as swindle goes, you know, 6-pound line is wonderful for finesse fishing. It's wonderful for getting your bait down there in a hurry. It's good, but there's a bad side to it. It's 6-pound line.
Yeah.
You know a lot about 6-pound line.
I know very little about 6-pound line unless I'm crappie fishing, Jerry.
Great job by all our guys in the Busch Shootout. That kind of wraps up the season. We should recognize all the anglers who really took it to the next level during the season. That would include our Toyota Horizon Award winner for Most Improved. That's Gary Yamamoto. Our Toyota Rookie of the Year, Dave Wallach. How about Pure Later Big Bass? That was big at every tournament, but none bigger than the Elite 50 event at Lake Louisville. Kevin Van Dam, almost a 12-pounder. You see it right there to set the lake record at that time. And, of course, the Citgo Angler of the Year prize was won on Table Rock Lake by Aaron Martins. Next year, they're going to win the Angler of the Year on Table Rock Lake. That Citgo Angler of the Year will be decided there as well. $600,000 in that Angler of the Year pot. That's going to be much excitement there.
Don't think guys aren't paying attention to what happened in this tournament.
Well, I'm wondering when we go back, does Zell Rowland or Swindle get the bridge piers? Is there any?
There'll be another fight.
There'll be another fight. That's that and much more to look forward to next time we see you on the Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail.
Look at that. What's mine is yours.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to Bassmaster.com.
Brent Chapman, Busch Shootout champion.